Hey, everybody. So super excited to hang out with you tonight for Monday Night Live. I promised y'all in the graphic that this would be the secret missing link to what's between you and your next rank and what's between your team and their next rank. How many of you raise your hand and say, you know what? I feel pretty confident in sharing Plexus products with somebody. Like, I feel like if the challenge of the day was go share Plexus products with one person and get them to order by the end of the week or the month, I feel like I could do that. It's a lot of hands. Okay. How many of you, if I said, go successfully and confidently share the opportunity and inspire someone to want to make money with Plexus, you would say, I feel just as confident to do that? Way less hands, way less hands. So I'm here to tell you, if you are recruiting, but you are not inspiring people to take advantage of this opportunity, you're doing one of two things. You're either not mentioning the opportunity to people. Some of you are guilty. You're like, oh gosh, don't make eye contact with me. You're just not mentioning it for whatever reason. You have all these fill in the blanks. I would mention the opportunity if only blank, if only I knew what to do, if only I knew what to say, or you're not following up. It's one of those two things. You're either not talking about the opportunity or you're not following up, or you're skipping some in between. You're going all the way to third base when it comes to talking about the opportunity. Instead of the, baby stepping people in, you're jumping all the way in. And I'm sure we had a funny conversation last week, but we're jumping all the way to, if your bank account was full and your calendar was empty, what would life look like? And people are like, wait, what? How did we get from try my pink drink to you want my calendar empty? Like, we skip steps, right? That's a great question when the timing is right. So we are going to talk tonight about the missing link between where you are and where you want to be. And you guys, it has to do with how to pique someone's interest in the opportunity with every single join that comes in. If you will master this and you will encourage your team to master this, what you will see in spring of 2020 is going to be momentum like you saw not too many springs ago. It will be like that. It will be record breaking. It will be company shattering. People will be like, oh my gosh, what are they doing over there? And listen, it ain't real difficult. I mean, I put it into a spreadsheet, but what I found is what I was saying and doing is not what was being passed down. Somewhere along the way, I had dropped the ball on making it very clear. And so we're going to clear all of this up tonight. Everybody take a deep breath. We are about to change some things. All right, so let me share my screen. All right, let me move you guys over here. And let's go. Okay, so the secret missing link to becoming a jewel. All right, so first of all, before we can get into how to offer the opportunity, why should you offer the opportunity? Okay, so number one, what you need to know is that more people go to bed every single night worried about their wealth than they do their health. So why do I tell you that? Well, here's the thing. You guys just said you're confident in telling people about the products. I'll do that. Like, I believe that everybody needs the products. And so I can confidently tell them about that. And I'm here to tell you, more people believe they need opportunity in regards to finances than they do opportunities in health and wellness. So if you think that you're serving because they need this the most, what I'm telling you is your thought has to shift, because what they actually need is opportunity. People need opportunity more now than ever before. So here's a quote that I thought, or a stat that I thought was interesting. Mental health ranks as one of the most important forms of wellness, which you guys, PS, we're in the wellness business. Okay. And nearly half of all women feel like financial stress has taken a toll on their mental and emotional health. They've lost sleep over it, and it's even damaged their physical health. You guys, newsflash, it's interfering with their intimacy in their marriage. It's interfering with their parenting and their temper. And in regards to their kids, the guilt that they feel because they have to say no more than they can say yes. People's lack of financial flexibility is causing just as much, if not more, damage to who they are as a person than their gut health. So why should you offer the opportunity? Because people need it. People are praying for relief and they're saying, God, if I could just figure out a way to have some margin here. And God's over there like, here's the way. And your delayed obedience, guys, delayed obedience is still disobedience, right? Your delayed disobedience is the reason that those prayers aren't being answered. So what do we do about it? I'm glad that you asked. Okay. I love technology. Okay. So here's what we need to do, what to keep in mind and what to ask yourself. If you're recruiting, but not creating others who want to share, this is what I told you earlier. You're either not sharing the opportunity or you are not sharing effectively, or you're not following up. And I'm going to fix all of that today. Guys, and one thing, I put this in here, it's okay if it feels messy. It's going to feel messy. It's okay to be bad in order to get good. It's okay if the first time you ask this question, your voice is quivering a little bit, you're a little nervous, you almost secretly hope that somehow the phone call gets dropped, right? Like you just don't even know if you can do it. It's okay if it feels that way. The next time it will feel less like that. And the third time, even less like that. Eventually, you'll be saying this question like it's no big deal. Just like you're saying, hey, have you ever heard of plexus? I'd love to get to introduce you to it. Right? That doesn't make us nervous. We don't quiver when it comes to that. So you'll get to that point in this as well. Okay. So number one, are you doing the right things with the people that you are recruiting? Can you recruit? Do you feel as confident getting them off to sharing? What if there was a black and white system to follow with every single person who orders? Wouldn't that be so nice? Like, yes, we would like that. Well, here you have it. Okay. When does this happen? The system I'm going to give you. When do I want you to pull out the flow chart? How many of you have our little handy dandy coaching flow chart? When you're talking to your team and you pull out that flow chart and all of a sudden you feel like Brittany, like, oh, I can coach because I have a flow chart. I do. I'm going to give you one that you can pull out when it's time to talk to someone on the phone, when it's time to enroll them, or you've done a welcome call for someone. So you're on the phone, you're signing them up, or you're on a three-way call. Maybe somebody's asked you to do a welcome call. Guys, also what this should do, it should eliminate your need to have to depend on someone else to do your welcome call for you. You're capable of doing a welcome call for your people all by yourself. Save those three-way calls for somebody who needs third-party validation or bigger vision. You can handle a welcome call, and I'm about to show you how. All right, so here's how you get someone on the phone. Let's just start at the beginning. Hey, listen, great, you're ready to get started. The next step is, so you don't ask them, could you please, do you mind, would you be able? This is your business. You run your business the way that you run your business. Great, you're ready to get started? Okay, cool. The next step is for us to jump on the phone. I want to make sure you have no questions about what it's going to be like on your products. I want to go over some best practices and how to help you get great results. When do you have 15 minutes? Do you hear that? Posture means, hey, listen, what I have to offer you on the phone is valuable, not optional. And I'm ready to do this. When can we do this? All right. The purpose of this call, you guys do not miss this. The purpose of my handy dandy black and white flowchart system is not to convince someone to hang up the phone and take off running. They're a business builder. Your job's done. The end. The purpose of this call is to simply uncover what objections or limiting beliefs they have in their brain so that you can be more effective on the follow-up. So if you came tonight thinking, okay, well, this call is going to take away the 8 to 12 follow-ups that I have to give someone about the opportunity, wrong. It's just statistically proven. You're going to have to follow up about the opportunity more than you do the products because you're asking people to do something that feels risky to them. It feels scary to them. And your willingness to follow up shows your credibility and your ability to be trusted to go on this journey to begin with. So if you're unwilling to follow up that 7th time, that 8th time, that 9th time, that communicates, I was only willing to do so much for you. Good thing you didn't join me because eventually I might not have been willing to lead the way. Your willingness to shows up builds your credibility as a leader. It says, I'm going to stick in here and I'm here for you and we're going to do this. Okay. So the purpose of this call is to simply uncover what they're telling themselves might hold them back, so that when you do follow up, you can do so much more effectively and much more personally than just haphazardly checking in. Okay. So this is not to create a rock star today. This is to uncover objections. What fears are they having? And then for you to lean in and address those limiting beliefs. Okay. All right. Number one, when you get them on the phone, what's the first thing that you do? And this will be at the very top of the flow chart. I'll show you the chart at the end, but you form a personal connection. Now, for some of you, this is second nature, right? You get on the phone, you have all these things to say. Okay. That's not my gifting. Personal connection is not something that I'm super strong and I'm learning. But Brittany literally had to give me some personal connection questions. Like, okay, Christina, I recruit totally cold market. My whole team, almost 99% is cold market, which means when I'm ready to enroll someone, I don't know them, right? They might feel like they know me because of my branding, but I don't know them. And so when I get on the phone with them, I didn't really have a clue how to personally connect. So if that's you, I'm here to save your day. 3 questions you can ask to make someone feel like you are personally invested in them. Hey, I'm Christina. So excited to get to talk to you today. Tell me, before we jump in, what do you do for a living? Oh, wow. That is so cool. How long have you been doing that? Awesome. Well, do you love it? Well, that is great. I'm so glad that you love being a nurse or a mom or whatever. They just got to talk for several minutes. I'm listening. Personal connection. There we have it. Okay. So that's step 1, personal connect. There you go. Next, validate that they have made a fantastic purchase with your products. Listen, I'm so excited that you decided to jump in with Plexus. I know that these products are going to help you so much in regards to blank. Whatever you know that they are hoping for results for, that you've educated on, you're going to say, you've made a great decision. Like, this is just the start of this journey and I'm so pumped for you. You're going to love it. Okay. Then you're going to move into the magic question. Now, let me tell you, there are 4 words in your brain that halt learning more than any other set of words. You ready? I already knew that. So I'm going to go to the next screen and some of you are going to say, I already knew that. And you're going to stop learning right now. But let me tell you, what you know is only as effective as what your team knows. And I did field research. 10% or less of our team is doing this. So you don't already knew this. Okay. Even if you think you know this, I'm telling you, my field research proves your team doesn't. And if they know it, they don't do it. And if they don't do it, it's because they don't believe it's effective. So everybody needs to tune in and pay attention, because I'm telling you, this will change your team's business. Okay. Hey, listen, quick. If you love your products, will you be sharing with others? Listen, somebody's heart just already started beating faster. I can hear it. And then it says, wait, she says I have to be okay with 5 seconds of awkward silence. Yes, people need to think. You've just validated their decision. And now you say, well, listen, Susie, I'm so glad. I'm so excited to watch your journey. I'm curious, if you love your products, will you be sharing with others? She's thinking. Most of the time, here's what they will say. Yeah, I'll probably share with other people once I have my results. That is a large majority of the time what someone's going to say. First of all, we prime the question for them to say this. Like, oh, yeah. I mean, of course, if I love something, of course I'll share it, but I need my own results first. Every now and again, they'll say, no, I can't do that. I'm not a salesperson. Like, no. I've tried that before. I'm not a salesperson. Or they'll say, oh, no. Like, I have way too much on my plate. Like, I can't add a single thing. Generally speaking, these are the 3 that you will hear the most. And you're like, I know, Christina, that's what I'll hear. That's why I don't ask that question. But what if this was exactly what we wanted to hear? What if we were excited about the objection? Okay, so we've got the question. Did everybody write that down? If you love these products, will you share with others? Maybe we should like say it together. because I did field research and 90% of you ain't saying it. Listen, it's so funny because I did a call for someone this week and I said, all right, what'd you notice on the call? And she said, well, I noticed that you said that question from the goal chat that nobody else is saying. So I'm sure that that's what you want us to be saying. So say the question. Okay. All right. Repeat after me. Objections are good. We like objections. We aren't scared of objections. Objections are good. We like objections. We are not scared of objections. Okay. So here's their objection. Yeah. I would share, but I need my own results first. Here's what I'm going to say. It's really a souped up version of feel, felt, found. Girl, I totally understand feeling like you got to know more about plexus because I have felt the same way too. What I found is that I can invite people to be a part of something as I'm growing my own belief. It's like inviting a friend to lunch at a new restaurant that we've both never been to. It's more fun to try things with new friends. Thankfully, you'll never likely struggle with some of the things that your friends are struggling with, but you have something that could help them. So I always encourage my friends, borrow my belief in our products and think of people who you know that don't feel great every day. So I'm curious, since you've been learning about plexus with me, have other folks come to mind who struggle? I wonder if you'd be open to inviting them to take a look with my help. This is where you pause for that other 5 seconds of awkwardness and you give them the opportunity to say, well, yeah, I mean, I guess with your help, like I did, when you mentioned cholesterol, like my parents actually came to mind. I don't know if I could share. And that gives you a chance to say, well, girl, I can help you. Like, no big deal. I can help you. So you've handled that objection. Now you have to move forward. I'm going to even give you the what's after this, but let's get to another objection first. And guys, this is on the flow chart. The actual how to handle it in response on the call is on the paper. So if you can just read, you can handle the objection. Eventually you'll get your own and you'll fall into a groove. But for now, this will get you through this objection. Okay. Not a salesperson. And I always try to make things funny. I'm like, well, that's a dang relief. You know, I'm definitely not looking for salespeople, but I do understand how you feel because I felt the same way. I legit have never sold anything to anybody. I was a school teacher. And so I didn't even talk to grownups every day. But what I found is that I am passionate about sharing things that I'm excited about. I tell people about a new boutique that comes to town or a new restaurant that I've tried. So I'm curious, like if I could show you a simple way of just sharing plexus with others who might be looking for something for their health, would that be something that you'd be open to checking out? First of all, people want to be open. When I say open versus interested, their brain is like, well, I want to be open. Open sounds good. Okay, let's get to the next one. I don't have time. Oh, I mean, I would, but like I got my whole plate full. You know, I got all these things. Girl, I totally get how you feel. Listen, when I started this thing, I was a full-time teacher, was momming. I had just had a third baby, so she was nursing. Like I did not know how I was going to fit anything in either. But what I found actually is that it wasn't a massive amount of time that I needed to work my business. It was more just a matter of me being consistent in the little bit of time that I did have. So if you could share and also cover the cost of your products and maybe even bless your family some financially, is that something that would be helpful for you guys? Well, yeah, I've never met anyone in my life who said, no, thanks. Got plenty of money, except for that lady that showed me her checking account. Okay, so here we go. Next step. This is also on the flow chart. If they're open after handling the objection, you notice every time I handled an objection, I ended with a question. I'm like, is that something you check out? With my help, would you be willing? Are you open to? If they're saying yes, like, yeah, I think I would like to do that. Great. There's a couple of things you can do. Encourage them to make a post on Facebook. Tell them like, hey, if somebody comments or reaches out privately, it's okay. Like I'm here to do some of the heavy lifting with you. Here's what you can say to them in a private message. Thanks for commenting. I'm super excited that I'm getting started. Would love to share some info with you. Are you familiar with plexus? And I'll tell them here, like, and every time they respond, just let me know. I'll help you with what to say back. Totally no pressure. Ask them to make a list of people that they want to share with. So this is somebody who's not saying like, I want to build a business, but they're open to the idea of sharing. This is kind of the walk with a little bit of speed route that I would take. Totally different than if somebody says, yeah, I want to build a business. Like I want to make some money. I'll show you what I do with them because it's also on the flow chart. But here you have it. Like I just say, think to yourself, are you wanting to share these products with these people on the list, or the opportunity, or both? And who should we start with? Let me help you with what to say to person number one. And I just handhold every step of the way to get them comfortable with sharing. If they're still not open, which will be sometimes a majority, it just depends. Remember, 8 to 12 follow-ups. Then I say, okay, cool. Listen, keep in mind, this is how I transition the call so that it's not super awkward. I say, okay, cool. Listen, keep in mind as you're using your products that it's super easy to cover the cost by simply helping 3 people get started on their own journey with our products. In the meantime, you're going to love Plexus. I'm here every step of the way. Cannot wait to watch you get your results. Do you see how that's like, okay, I hear what you're saying. Listen, but we're going to bring it back to the fact that I'm pumped for you. You're going to love these products. Let's go. Then notice during their journey, while you're following the retention system, every time you notice anything positive, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you're sleeping through the night. Like that is such a huge thing. Listen, I know that there are people in your life who are praying for relief from that same thing. Remember how much it stunk when you weren't sleeping through the night? Like I know when we talked before, you were super leery about sharing, but now that you love this about Plexus, who's come to mind that you think also needs to know about that? Like I'd love to share with you with them. So I'm just constantly planting those seeds. Like I know you weren't open yet, but now that you've noticed this, curious if you're open now. Okay. All right. So after the conversation, here are several different ways that you can follow up with somebody about the opportunity. Invite them to an event. It could look like a sip and see. It could look like a health and happiness tour. It could look like an online vision casting call. Tomorrow night, hint, hint, my team, there is an opportunity event. I would be reaching out to everybody on my team today or tomorrow and saying, hey, listen, when you love these products, are you going to be sharing with people about it? I don't care if they've been on the products for a year. I'd say, listen, since you love your products, have you considered sharing with people about it? 90% of you haven't said that to every single one of your joins. So you got your work cut out for you. And listen, if they're open, what I would be saying is, well, that is awesome that you're open to that. Handle whatever objection and say, tonight, there's actually going to be an opportunity for you to hear a couple of girls who had your exact same objection and how and why they were able to overcome it. Like, I'm going to be on with my glass of wine. Could you jump on with me? Why don't you jump on and just listen to their stories? Right? Send a diamond doc of someone who is relatable. Y'all, this is my friend Timmy. You are going to relate with her story so much. She felt very much like you in the beginning. Check out her story. You'll love it. Continue to build a relationship with that person while following the retention system. If it's somebody that I think, man, they got good potential here, I'm not only sending the retention messages, I'm really trying to connect along the way, really trying to form that kind of relationship with them along the way. I'm always going to share about a new rank up. Even if it's not mine, I'm going to share a friend's rank up, a sidelines rank up, a downlines rank up. I'm going to share somebody's story about ranking up that will relate with them. If a pastor wife on our team ranks up, I'm going to tell all my other pastor wife friends, like, I know you weren't open to this, but look what Kayleen's got going on. Like, look at her story. This could totally be you. I'm going to share about trips earned. I posted about a shopping spree that happened 4 years ago. I posted about it today and let people know, listen, we're on our way of earning our 5th one, like shopping spree, like they're for real. You could totally come do this. Share what the bonuses have allowed your family to do. Like, girl, I just got my first check with a comment in it. And listen, I'm not one who's all driven by money, but this covered our mortgage payment this month. And I just would kick myself if I did not reach out one more time and remind you that I see so much potential in you. Listen, and this can all be repeated. If you were to just do this effectively one time through with somebody, it might take you 5 or 6 months, and then you repeated it. Congratulations. You would have effectively followed up with somebody for 1 entire year. And listen, almost every single Jewel on Brittany's team, she followed up with for at least 1 year. So for those of you that are thinking, well, so-and-so's told me no 3 times, like she's been on the product 6 months. If she were going to share, she already would be sharing by now. Wrong. I was on Brittany's team for a year using her products before I ever shared. Jana, same thing. Jana, I think, was 2 years. Like, it was a long time. So whatever you're falsely telling yourself about someone's willingness to do this, it's probably just because you've not been willing to overcome their objections. You've not been willing to say, in spite of what you believe to be true, here's what I know is true. Here are people who have had your exact same objection or limiting belief, and here's what they've done to overcome it, and here's their result because of it. So it's not that they're unwilling, it's that you're unwilling. Okay. Ooh, everybody say, ooh. Ah. Okay. So this is literally the front of the flow chart. It's exactly what I just went over with you guys. So you'll see under step 2, very rarely will you have somebody on a call, unless here's what happens for me. By the time I get somebody to join, I have already planted a million business seeds. So every now and again, they're like, yeah, actually, first of all, y'all, they know an opportunity comes with Plexus. They see you. They joined you because your branding must have been communicating, I do this thing for a living. So they're not complete. I mean, they know, unless they've been living under a rock, they know Plexus comes with an opportunity. So don't be surprised if you bring this up and they say, yeah, actually, I was going to ask you about that. We do have a financial need in our life. Like, I am open to making some money. But when that happens, here's what you say. Cool. Tell me more. Like, how much money would be a blessing for your family? And then I usually follow it up with, okay, perfect. Like, that is absolutely doable. Like, that's just scratching the surface, girl. You could totally do above and beyond that. Tell me, how much time do you want to spend? I go ahead and get a ballpark range in my brain of what they're looking to invest. I tell them why that's a great place to start. And then I say, listen, the first thing I want you to do, I'm going to send you a video. It is the most comprehensive video around. Like, it will be well worth an hour of your time, because it's going to set you up for success. Like, you will watch this video, you'll know exactly what to do, and you'll be ready to run, girl. Like, I have no doubt you're going to go crush it. So if somebody says, yeah, I want to make money, boom, right there. If somebody is just as cold as an Eskimo and you're like, oh, okay, like, here's what you say. Okay, cool. Listen, no problem. Keep in mind, as you're using your products, it's super easy to cover the cost of them by helping 3 friends. And you've got 3 free sample credits to help make it simple. Like, go on, cold person, right? But most of the time, it's all going to be right in the middle. Right in the middle. And here you have it, exactly what to do for somebody when they are here. And now I'm going to show you the back of the flow chart, because y'all get off the call and you're going to be willing to ask the questions, but then you're going to be like, wait, what did she say do next? Well, here you go. Next steps. When someone is open, after you handle their objections, here's what I told you to do. When someone is not open, here's what I told you to do. And then I want you to remember, in this flow chart down here, following up about the opportunity takes time. There's no way to shortcut it. There's no way to speed it up. There's no way to, I mean, listen, this is honest and true. When it's someone's timing, then they'll be ready. And in the meantime, you just be willing. 8 to 12 different exposures. Guys, 3 things to not do. Do not fall into convincing mode. If you have to convince someone to do this, you'll have to convince them to stay. We want to inspire someone. We don't want to convince someone. Don't be emotionally attached. There is nothing worse than somebody feeling pressure from you to make a decision that you want them to make. Be neutral. Be so confident in where you're going that your success is not dependent on their decision. It's not. That's selfish. Don't be emotionally attached. They need to feel complete and total freedom to make whatever decision they feel like they need to make. You just are simply there to provide information, provide inspiration, provide belief, provide vision, provide examples. But at no point should they feel like, well, if I don't do this, I'll be letting her down. If I don't do this, she'll feel disappointed. If I don't do this, she'll be mad at me. No. Be completely neutral. And y'all, don't drop the ball on the follow-up. If you're not willing to follow up the 5th time, don't bother with the first 4. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Be willing to follow up. You have no reason to not. I just gave you 5 different ways to follow up. Do that 2 times through. If you have nothing, if you cannot come up with anything else to do, just do that twice. Spaced out appropriately over time, taking advantage of every opportunity along the way to sprinkle belief into them and say, hey, I saw this and it reminded me of you. That's something as simple as that. Nobody ever got annoyed or aggravated by someone calling out their potential and paying them a genuine compliment. Get real good at calling out people's potential. And don't drop the ball on the follow-up. Be willing to follow up. And that, my friends, is a wrap. Let me stop recording.